Here we are. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
So a couple of minutes late today. Unfortunately, we had a couple of issues on our side. That's why I have this lovely green screen behind me. We had a water damage in our living room and had to rip out half of the floor. So I'm basically living on a storage area right now because we had to move a lot of stuff from the living room into all other parts of the apartment. And if I remove the green screen, there would be just a huge pile of crap behind it. So you have to live with lovely green today. No, even a lot more. Like multiply that by 5, and that's how it would look.
And it is stuff that usually has its place in a different room. So it has been moved randomly, stacked together like a puzzle, but not as pretty as a puzzle.
It's going to take days.
Weeks. It's awful. It's really awful. I hate living like that.
David, your background looks nice. You look.
Yeah.
It looks mysterious, doesn't it?
It is.
Really?
Yeah, what is behind the curtain? We all need to know.
Well,
apothecary?
Apothecary.
I'll go with that.
Apothecary. That's it. I had to say it slowly in my head.
I'm going for a rock star look or some bedraggled fairy. I'm not 100% sure what it is.
I love it.
Yeah, you are at the border to Rapunzel at the moment.
Yes, definitely.
I saw where you had short hair, and I was scared, and I thought, oh my God, no.
It's all cut.
It's cut.
He keeps doing it. I think he keeps doing it to stir people.
Yeah. I'm happy you're back to your good looks with your long hair.
I am too. I'm just doing some product placement now.
Glass. That's a good idea.
White wine, apple juice.
It's a cider,
Apple
actually.
cider.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's in a Stella glass. So it's a nice glass. I didn't steal this from a pub. Where's
I would never do product placement.
You guys know it's only good product placement if you actually get paid for it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
now we all have to meet in Berlin and go to the Hard Rock Cafe and have a good eat. And especially if Thorsten is driving, I can have a couple of good cocktails. I love the Hard Rock Cafe cocktails.
We like that. Thorsten, you're definitely driving. Sorry. Designated driver. That's it.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
I fixed mine. I'm not doing product placement.
You're not telling anything.
Yeah, yours looks now like if you watch some series, you see it's definitely a MacBook, but they glued over the Apple logo with a gray sticker.
Yeah.
That's how yours is looking now.
Or post-it, yeah.
The Apple thing doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
What is it supposed to do?
It's supposed to be easy, and now with this Apple thing, I always have to click and try, and everything closes and everything opens, and not the thing I want. So
I don't like this either. I have to use this for work, but
actually, my phone is fine. I have a work phone, a Samsung, and I have a private phone, the Apple, the iPhone, and I like them both. It's they both have advantages, but the laptop, I really hate the Apple laptop. It's an Apple book, right?
Yeah, but it's a MacBook, yeah. MacBook Air. But the good thing with the writing sprints is that you can use whatever you want. I mean, I have done a couple with other people, and some do it with pen and paper. And there was one lady, she had basically a keyboard with a tiny, tiny monitor attached to it. And you can put that on your lap and just write with it everywhere. Yeah, the keyboard is like a screen of a phone, but she says she's doing good work with that. And
why not?
Yeah.
Hey, look, some people type like this.
Yes.
I type like this. I just don't use my thumb.
All right. No thumbs.
No thumbs.
Okay. What do you use for the space bar?
Yeah, okay. I use the spacebar thumb,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
the letters
that's probably all. Yeah, that's all I use the thumb
Yeah.
for.
That's what we use it for, actually. You're right. Yeah.
and the pinky is my enter.
Oh
Enter
yes.
the pinky.
Yeah. Do you know? I just had to test that out because, like, it's so automatic for me that I'm like, I think it is my pinky, but I need to just pretend that I'm typing and hitting enter.
In university, I used to do a lot of numbers, and the numbers I can do blind, not looking, and I used to add them up and subtract and multiply and do Excel sheets, like huge Excel sheets. And the enter button always was the pinky, and the numbers. Oh, the zero was the thumb was the zero.
Ah.
That's why I never used it, because the numbers didn't contain a lot of zeros.
Oh yeah, of course.
On the number
Oh yeah,
pad.
on the numpad. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Of course, I also remember doing this back in the day.
I have
That just
no
shows my
clue.
age.
No clue what you mean. I'm so young. I'm not knowing what you're talking about.
No one of us knows what a microfiche is, right?
Oh no!
No.
Oh,
Never heard of that.
now ideas are coming for the next story.
Oh yeah.
So, should we start with the first one? We can have a bit
Yeah,
more
but-
chit-chat after
Yes.
Yes,
that.
please.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
so
you, Bill.
let me get our prompt.
And can you put it into the private chat again, like last time?
I most certainly can.
Yay.
And I'm generating it. Ooh, she was furious. How could their neighbors ask that of them? I think we had that one. Didn't we have that last one? Last
No.
time?
No.
No?
No.
Seems strangely familiar. Well,
I have no clue
Maybe.
why.
maybe I just know furious people.
It was another dimension, Torsten, but yeah.
We
It
have
could-
no neighbors. We don't know what they are talking about.
It could very well be. Okay, I'll add that as a banner. And then let me put up the timer. Are you guys ready to start?
Yeah.
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 Okay, then talk to you in 25 minutes.
See you.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
And we are back.
Woo!
How did it go for you?
I'm not finished.
I'm not finished.
Hard.
I'm sort of finished. Yeah, I'll say I'm finished. I haven't quite finished writing this last sentence, but I know what it says.
Yep. You can just fake that it's done and read
The last bit
rest
I
of
can,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can for this one, so. But it's shorter than before.
Yeah, but we are a bit out of practice after
Yeah,
the summer
exactly.
vacation.
That's what I think. Yeah, definitely. It's been a while. I tried to follow your vision sort of quest, Torsten. You know, where I just want to see it, and I'll just type what I see, and hardly go back and make maybe a few corrections because I can't help myself. But ultimately, let's just keep going forward. And it seemed to work, but I have no idea. But now I think, it could be the start of something. But then that's what I was saying last month.
Let's make a movie.
Did you continue your stories from last time?
No, I haven't. I'm terrible. I'm far too busy at work.
I did on one of them. The one about the well. The one about the well.
Nice.
I haven't finished it. I did just do some more on.
David, I see you also have a little typo in your name today.
Oh yeah, I know. But it said, what name do you want to be known as? And sometimes I use David.
Ah, okay. Well done. Great.
Dr. Avid. Dr. Avid.
Dr. Avid.
I like that.
Well, who of you would like to start with sharing?
I'll
start.
Kind
if you like. Oh, right.
Okay.
Go.
I'll start. Then I'm done. Then I don't have to do the next one. It always feels good. 519 words, although that was the title. Is it a title? I don't know. So maybe that 10 words or whatever that is the prompt isn't really part of it. But around 500 words, it's not terrible. Anyway, the spit began to fly out of Jessica's mouth in torrential bursts, staccato, similar to a machine gun, as she began to tear into the woman that she had always seen as an ally before her words had caused her to explode in rage. How on earth could this woman ask that of her? This woman, who along with her husband had seemingly been a friend to Jessica and her partner, particularly through the most difficult times. Bobby? Where are you, Bobby? The pool was empty. It hadn't been filled in over 20 years. The rusting fence surrounding it had disintegrated in parts, but the weeds that had sprung up through neglect kept some of it upright, an illusion of a barrier against the sharp drop into the tiled depths of scrub and shallow dirt that had accumulated over the years. Both Penny and Jessica were acutely aware that they needed to deal with this eyesore, particularly now that Penny was pregnant with their second child, and once again they would be forced to attempt to secure every cupboard and fence off every stairwell and bathroom. Bobby was already 9 years old when Penny first began to muse about the possibility of adding another child to their already established and very happy family. A little girl, Jess, imagine that. Jessica had always found her enthusiasm to determine the gender of their unborn child, not even yet conceived child, as being more than a little crass, but she had learned to keep these feelings to herself, Penny's temper having erupted at least a few times previously, even after Jessica had given birth to their son, Bobby, the trauma of that delivery leaving her barely able to lift herself out of the bed in the mornings. Although when Jessica was being honest with herself, usually in the mornings after her second cup of coffee alone in the garden, she would recall that Penny had just as enthusiastically predicted Bobby's sex, almost from the minute that they had decided to go ahead with that pregnancy. A little boy, Jess, imagine that. And now this witch of a neighbor, Mrs. Barnes, or was it Burns? Why didn't she remember? Didn't she know this woman for at least 4 years? Was screaming at her that she needed to fix the large hole in the hedge that constituted at least 40 acres of a barrier between the two properties. He keeps coming through. Don't you understand? Phil and I cannot bear to see him anymore. We don't want to see him. Fuck you, cunt. With each word, Jessica not only grew louder, but more fierce, and with the final word, her hand shot forth and smacked the hysterical woman so hard in the face that for a moment it was almost comical as her features bounced and jolted themselves to the left of Jessica's vision, like a big jelly bag full of putrid pus. The woman's eyes grew larger and then immediately constricted shut as hot tears burst from their corners. But obviously it's not finished, but yeah, that's where I got to.
That's gruesome.
Yeah, I think it's a great start.
Yes. Very
The witch
evocative.
next door.
Yeah, I want to know how it goes on. So give us a
No,
solution.
right. I think I do have to finish this one. I will promise to actually
All right.
to carry on with this
Let's
one
look at
at some point. Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to.
very cool. You
But
can
yeah,
imagine very well how it looks like and this
Yeah.
neighborly conflict.
Obviously, there are some feelings towards the word neighbor, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of stories in TV shows, and so I guess we all have some better and worse experiences with that.
Yes.
I think that one is pretty harsh.
I had the worst neighbor experience I had was a dead body that wasn't found for quite a while.
Ooh,
That
that's
is-
even
that's-
worse than our neighbor
that-
experience.
That's for another day. That's quite a story in itself.
Hmm.
But we had some very, very, very super bad neighbor experiences that smelled like that body but wasn't. So whew.
We also found out how good the police is here in Germany, because this woman we were living above, it was a four-story, 8-party house, and she was on the ground floor. We were on the first floor, and she basically had a huge fight with her spouse every week. Sometimes they threw out parts of the furniture, sometimes they threw out each other.
Oh,
And it was always a lot of fun. And then suddenly at 3 in the morning, she started shouting for help. And we thought, well, who knows what's going on down there? We will call the police. They can sort it out. So we called the police. And then an hour later, she was still shouting for help. Police is like 5 minutes per car from where we lived. And we called them again and said, well, she's still shouting. Have you guys been here? Yeah, but nobody opened. So we drove away again. We said, she could be killed by now. I don't know what's going on down there. Yeah, can't you have a look? No, I'm not going down there.
Can
So-
you have a look? I love that one.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it seemed to be very dangerous. They were making all sorts of sounds, like throwing around furniture. And I don't want to be hit by a cupboard. So
No.
they asked us to open the door and, the front door of the house. And I didn't like the idea going into the corridor and being endangered meeting them there. So I said, okay, I can push the button for the door, but if the door doesn't open, you guys have to get in somehow. It's kind of your job.
To do it.
So,
Yeah.
Daniel and I did live between two families at one point, and both sides had adults that would scream at their children, who would then scream, and that went on for a little bit too long.
that's
Yeah, way
also
too
not
long.
good.
But
Yeah.
it's not. Some people just choose to live strangely.
Yeah.
With their anger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, on that happy note, who wants to
Happy.
who wants to tell us why she was furious?
Indeed. I need to hear now.
I would like to, but
Go.
it's not finished. So,
Daniel's
you might be
wasn't.
disappointed. I have to find the start. So, she was furious. How could their neighbors ask that of them? For 10 years, they have put up with those nosy, no-good bums next door. Partying, lots of visitors. That's not normal. And those clothes, piercings even in their faces, and tattoos. They must have been to prison a lot. Like before they moved in. Surely. What this neighborhood has come to. Mrs. Steinfield died 12 years ago. Mr. Hammerbond died 15 years ago. And Mr. and Mrs. Stevenson moved away. So did Mr. Hudson. So what is left of the good neighborhood is just Mr. Constantine, who's never seen, and of course, the most reliable and perfectly friendly Mr. and Mrs. James Butterson. And now they have to put up with them, those people. It has been a while since Karen Butterson was in business, but she still had it in her. She was sure of it. So she would teach those bums. No kidding around this time. She had enough telling them when to sweep the street, when to return the trash can, and not to be as loud. And for God's sake, get a grip. She was so tolerant over the years, but now this was enough. This was it. Karen had a plan. She would lure this Alex person and Liam in for a nice cup of coffee or tea, whatever they fancy. And then she would teach them. When she told James of her plans, she expected his retired dull mind to be reluctant, in need of a bit convincing. But he chuckled, clapped his hands together, and rubbed them, grinning widely, and said, "Yeah, let's do this, honey. It's been too long since we had some business. Retirement has become a bit boring, so let's have a little bit of fun." They both went to the basement, into the padded room, dusted off the light fixtures, and renewed the foliation, checked the instruments, and placed them neatly on the workbench. The treatment chairs were tested, positioned, and still functioning. Proud with themselves, Karen went over to Alex and Liam to invite them for a little chat. "So how about we have a little talk about your request? We want everything to be just perfect for your special day, and we would like to suit you. Would you like to come over for coffee, maybe, or a tea?" Alex obviously was surprised. "Oh, how kind of you. There's not much we ask really. Just if you could have your car in your driveway for that day, that would be awesome. But yes, we would love to come over." She smiled over her face, and her genuine happiness annoyed Karen to no end and made her intestines clench. "Well, when would be good for you? We can come over right now if you like." "Oh, how wonderful. I even have cake. Give me 5 minutes to set the table." "Oh, thank you so much. We are so happy. We always thought you didn't care much for us." And then the story actually begins.
So you try to keep the blood out of the 25 minutes now.
I would have need 26 minutes for the blood.
David, you're on mute. Oh, yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I was waiting for the knives of torture.
Yeah, actually, I had the idea, but the build-up to get to the point I wanted,
it was good.
it took much longer. I got lost a little bit in the build-up because the idea was, what's happening now? But, well,
I know. I liked that you didn't know what the business was till I got down to the padded room, and then it started to come together a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A few earrings might be removed. I felt a few piercings probably get removed.
They're probably dentists, right?
Ah, yes.
I even looked up what the name is of a dentist chair, but it is just a dentist chair, and I thought a chair with strap-ons that could be adjusted. And I didn't find the name of it.
Bondage chair, I think.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
bondage chair.
I changed that to bondage chair.
Yeah, that'd be much better. No,
Yeah, I like the clenching of the intestines actually as well. I can feel that every now and again in myself. So I understand the phrase. It's wonderful.
Yes, and I do want to find out what happens next. That one sounds very exciting.
Yeah, so maybe we need to sort of not only start stories, but continue them at some point.
Oh yeah, and then we have to revisit. Yeah,
I have to get to the point I wanted to, so I will finish this one. I promise.
Yeah, you said the last time.
Well,
yeah. Thanks, Torsten. Yeah,
I know how it is. I know how it is. But maybe next time we just continue with our stories.
Yeah, with a story. Yep.
Oh yeah, possibly.
Well, Doctor, are you ready?
I am. So I was just wondering how many words I'd written. Where is it? Oh, 700 was more than I thought.
Nice.
Okay. She was furious. How could their neighbours ask that of them? Although they'd lived next to each other for 10 years, you could never say they were friends, hardly even socialised, except for a quick nod and a smile when passing in eyeshot. Well, it had been that way for the last few years, but any friendly neighbourhood discussion had changed when the fence between their houses had blown down in a storm. That wasn't entirely true, as the fence had actually been smashed by a falling limb from the huge plane tree that was in their neighbour's yard. When that had happened, there'd been no compromise, as they were being asked to do now. Julie continued her internal ranting as she stomped up and down the backyard, creating an instant path in the long grass. She was so angry she did not hear Rob coming out the back door. He was right behind her when she realised someone was there. She swung around furiously and almost struck out with the clenched fist. Rob cringed back, and then the same concerned look she'd grown sick of clouded his boyish good looks. Why the fuck would you creep up on me like that? She spat with venom. I wasn't creeping, came the reply. I was checking if you were okay. You seemed pretty pissed off when Kath told you what they wanted to do. It doesn't seem like that big of an issue. Julie stared at Rob in disbelief. Not too big of an ass, she screamed. Rob stepped back, waiting for the torrent. That bitch wants to pull down the very fence they made us pay for after their tree destroyed it. They want to turn that side of the house into a fucking building site for months before we even get a semblance of peace. How am I going to be able to work with all the noise going on? Julie remembered when the tree fell down. The huge limb that hung over their backyard was shattered by lightning and crashed down, causing all the trouble that had led a burgeoning friendship to be reduced to nods of a stranger. Kath had insisted on following the letter of the law. Not only was the fence on Julie and Rob's property, but the limb that fell was also overhanging into their yard. By the letter of the law, Kath was right and ensured they paid every penny of the damage. Not just the fence, but what was crushed on Kath's side. Come on, Julie. Can't we be a bit flexible here, pleaded Rob. You know why Kath insisted that we pay for it all. And truthfully, the insurance covered most of it. Julie's mouth dropped open, and as she listened to Rob's logical voice, she wanted to punch him right in the throat, but instead clenched her fist, a motion that caught Rob's eye. He stepped back again, but this time held Julie's wrist in his hand. Please, Julie, it's been over 3 years. Are we ever going to move on from this? From what? Julie screamed. That bitch screwing me over again? Rob stepped forward and grabbed Julie's arms. That's enough, he ordered. He no longer looked scared, but annoyed. You know why she has to get this work done. They need an extension that has to have access on this side. You know why. No, I don't, Julie said, but her eyes gave away the creeping fear. She didn't want to remember how many times Kath had asked to cut the limb, but Julie refused, saying it was on their property and she liked the shade. You know why, Jules? Why? She said with tears in her eye. You know why, said Rob. You have to say it. You have to remember. Julie broke down as she remembered. She remembered the storm. She remembered the crack of the falling limb. She remembered running outside. She remembered seeing the car smashed below the fallen tree. She remembered Kath running from the passenger side screaming that John, her husband, was still in the car, below the limb, damaged, never to walk again.
Oh, this is dark. Oh.
Yeah, it is dark. It's really dark.
I like that the person who's furious, Julie, that she actually did something I wouldn't agree with. That she's angry for many reasons, and at first I thought, oh, the neighbors had done something that wasn't fair, but actually her mind isn't really fair. And I like this change of motion and characterization. This is a little bit twisting the thoughts. I like what it does with me as the audience. It's really clever. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, she's an unreliable narrator because she leads you down the wrong path.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and then you can't trust her anymore. And suddenly, even when she's admitting to wanting to punch him in the throat,
Yeah,
it's like you suddenly realize, whoa, okay.
She uses anger to mask her guilt.
Yes, definitely. And that had created a fracture inside her own brain. That was a funny one because when it started, I didn't really know how it was going to get. And I didn't necessarily, in fact, I didn't know who was going to be hurt. I knew someone was going to be hurt. And in my head, I saw that what Kath was asking for, they had to build an extension and a ramp for the wheelchair, obviously. That's what I was seeing. But I think as I started writing, I think it was going to be her son or something. But I don't know. It just changed.
Yeah.
What I also like is that this is very realistic. This could happen. It actually happens a lot that exactly this scenario occurs and neighbors get weird about it. Well, often it's not with damage to a person or long-lasting damage, but exactly this scenario with the tree and the it's not a carpet. What was it? Fence. The fence. It happens a lot. So this is very realistic. I like it. It's really a cool story.
Yeah. I think neighborly disputes are a big thing here in Germany, or a big thing. They often happen and are quite brutal. But I think it's the same in England. It's always when people live close to each other and have different views on the world that they clash at the fence.
Yeah. Yes, they do clash at the fence. Cheers.
So one last story to go.
Yeah, well, then let's see what I did. She was furious. How could the neighbors ask that of her? When she moved here 2 years ago, their neighbors Pam and Dan seemed like a normal couple. They mowed the lawn on a Saturday and sometimes invited Claire for a movie evening. But then their son Brett was born 12 months ago and everything changed. Brett fought baby colics starting at an age of 3 months, and he was crying so hard that Claire could hear it in her side of the house. Pam and Dan seemed stressed and had deep shadows under their eyes. Claire did what she could to help them. She bought them groceries and sometimes cooked dinner so they could take naps when Brett was finally silent for a couple of hours. Pam and Dan had hoped that the doctors would be able to help them, but after going to one specialist after the other, it was soon apparent that Western medicine had no idea what caused the crying, and more importantly, how to help Brett so he would stop. Claire suggested to look for alternative solutions, and the couple agreed. After a couple of weeks, shamans, gurus, New Age healers, Reiki masters went into the other side of the house and left puzzled, not able to help, but a good deal wealthier than before. Then the groaning and grunting started in the middle of the night. Brett made terrible noises. Claire almost fell out of the bed when it happened the first time. It was so loud that she at first thought someone was inside her room with her. The noises were so bad that she took her first sleeping pill that night. She vowed only to take medicine if it was unbearable, but she was on her third package by now, and even that one was almost empty. After the groaning and grunting came the sounds of moving furniture in the middle of the night. Claire carefully complained to Pam and Dan, and they insisted that the baby was moving objects with his mind. Claire nodded and went on with her days, but bought a pack of felt gliders as a gift to put under the furniture. After that, the noise level went down to acceptable levels. Pam and Dan seemed a little happier and not as sleep-deprived as before. The baby was developing nicely, and even Claire was happy. Her work here was almost done. But that the baby was not crying that much, but now that the baby was not crying that much, she started singing to him. It calmed down Brett, and it seemed to soothe him. What was her intention? She moved her bed to where his crib was on the other side of the wall and sang and talked to Brett all night long. Tomorrow would be the full moon, and Claire was excited. Then Brett and Pam came with this old priest. They wanted to do an exorcism tonight. Apparently they had heard chanting and inhuman whispers when they entered the baby's room and got scared for him. Claire cursed herself. She had been so careful, and now this priest would mess up everything. Raising a demon child was so hard nowadays. She blamed the media hysteria. You could barely do a satanic ritual before someone recognized it and freaked out. But luckily, they wanted Claire to help with the exorcism. She smiled sweetly as she agreed to help. The priest was an old man, and a lot could happen during a ritual such as this. She would have to make the best out of it, but then she always did.
This is so
I love it.
cool.
That's great.
Is it evil? I don't know. Is it really evil raising demon children? Let's not judge.
No, exactly.
No, not at all.
Can't be judging.
Well,
She's got a
that
hard enough task.
Yeah.
She gave
no,
them
that's
felt
adorable.
gliders, so she's fine.
It makes me think of Anya from Buffy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
We-
a good
we-
girl.
We
Just
never
a demon.
really watched Buffy. We watched Angel. Did you ever
Oh, we
watch
can't
Angel?
be friends.
Yeah.
I can't believe you watch Angel without Buffy. That doesn't make any sense.
How can you have watched Angel without Buffy?
I don't know. Ilka liked the guy who played Angel a lot more
Right.
than
Yeah.
the girl who played Buffy.
Well, he's on Buffy.
Yeah. And
He's
looks
in
Bu-
younger and sweeter. And
Yeah, he's in Buffy. You missed 4 whole series of him.
I've never seen Buffy. I just saw Angel and I liked the story. It's not about
I-
the dude. It's about the story, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
also
no,
watch
yeah,
all the
sure.
Rock movies, and it's not about the Rock. It's just about the very intense storylines.
yeah, of
yes,
course.
yes. It's,
But Angel got pretty bad at the end. I can remember that we watched the last couple of seasons and we said, "Oh, luckily it's over soon."
yeah, there is a backstory to that. They got
It's not
messed
good.
around a lot by the producers, and
And Joss Whedon also went.
Yeah, and I
He was
know
not.
that
He was not very nice to Charisma Carpenter. You remember how she's pregnant right at the end, and then she disappears into nothingness, and you think, what happened to her character? Yeah, that's just Joss Whedon. He didn't like her anymore, and she was
Oh.
out. She was out.
she
I-
gives
I-
birth
that's-
to a goddess. She gave birth
Yeah.
to a goddess.
I
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
a
which
huge
was kind of cool.
I wasn't a
Really?
huge fan of
Angel?
Charisma, so I was quite happy that she finally left.
Angel was bad to her, not the producers.
No,
the
Joss
producer.
Whedon, the director.
The director.
Ah,
The director.
But not the actor.
No, not David. No.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
No.
No, I don't think so.
He
Okay.
sounds like he was pretty professional. Well, Charisma came out recently about Josh, and he was one of the first to stand by her. So was Buffy. Both of them did.
Mm.
Yeah, he seems like he was very professional. He didn't really stay friends with anyone or anything like that. But nobody really complained about him. Did his job, left.
Yeah, I mean, he jumped directly into Bones after that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Never
I think
saw
he
her.
even did. No, we only watched a couple of episodes because our daughter loved it. And we try to watch shows that our kids are watching, which
You mean
means we've
Bones?
watched. Yeah, Jara loves it. So, but we didn't.
Oh yeah. She loved. Well, she loved. We made her watch Buffy and Angel, and I say made because she honestly didn't want to begin with, but then she just fell in love with it. And then proceeded to go and take it with Bones. And where else did he
Followed
go
him.
after that? I don't know where he went.
Isn't he still doing Bones? I thought that is
Yeah,
still going
Bones
on.
is still on, Daniel.
It's still going. Oh my
Oh, it's longer than his Angel character now.
9.
He doesn't
Yeah,
have
well,
to work. Doesn't have to work ever again.
No.
I didn't enjoy Bones too much. I thought that was a
it's a
bit weird as
Oh.
a show.
Formulaic, very formulaic.
That's it.
Not
And-
like Mr. Robot.
Yeah, we haven't watched that yet.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That's
you're in for a treat. 4 series of excellent
Seriously,
storytelling. Such
Yeah.
I'm
good
watching a
storytelling.
cool series right now, and this is absolutely up my alley.
Yeah.
It's SWAT.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We haven't seen it.
No.
A team of cool persons, one woman and the rest, of course, is men, and they work as a team together, they stick together, and they fight the evil with as little gunpowder as possible.
But they have fast cars.
yeah.
yeah.
My favorite character is one insane driver, and he has good skills, and obviously he's my favorite. And I just like how they work together, by the book, really great, and do all the good deeds, and they're so perfect. I just love that. With a little bit of shooting here and there, and a little bit of tech here and there, and this insane driver skill. So this is just what I need. The story is always
Storyline.
evil. Yeah, the storyline is very, very perfect. So it's always the evil that gets caught.
Mm.
Don't-
Scooby Doo, yeah.
Scooby Doo, yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
have to
everybody-
bend your mind around it. It's just that.
I'm watching a show now. Ilka doesn't like. It's called The Good Doctor. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
about an
We like that.
autistic doctor and his experiences in the hospital, but you know it. And Ilka
Love it.
cannot stand the actor who does the autistic doctor.
Freddie.
Oh, really?
I like the idea and the
Oh.
story, but I just cannot listen to this person. It drives me insane. I cannot hear this voice.
Have you watched Bates Motel?
Yeah.
Not the series. No.
That's so good.
That's good. He's in that.
He's in that.
Oh,
And
really?
scary. You're not meant
Is
to
he-
like him in that.
Is he the Bates guy?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That
He's
makes
Norman
sense.
Bates.
That makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
is
he,
he? I thought
it's
he's
really good. It goes back, so you get to meet Norman's mum,
Oh, okay. That
who's
is probably
played
shocking.
by. Oh, she's a wonderful actress. She's extraordinary. She really
She's fantastic.
is- yeah.
Yeah. What is her name?
I was going to say Famke Jen. No,
We have to watch
Cup.
that.
she's got.
We
her
have to
sisters-
mention her name.
Her sister's in the American Horror Story movie
Nice.
stuff.
Vera
Ah.
Farmiga.
Vera
Yeah,
Farmiga.
I love those two.
Magnificent.
Those girls are awesome.
Yeah,
Both.
honestly, you want to watch Bates Motel just for her.
Bates Motel.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. And she
And
was
yeah.
in well, the bigger sister of those two. She was in not Conspiracy. What's it called with the
Ratched.
two?
Wasn't she in Ratched?
I don't know.
Nurse Ratched?
No, that was Sarah Paulson.
Okay.
I mean,
That was Sarah. Vera Farmiga has
Warrens.
been in so many
Crossing the
things.
Warrens.
With the Warrens.
The Conjuring.
Conjuring.
But you probably meant the nun.
Yes, she is. She is. You're quite right. She's
Yeah,
in that whole series.
Lorraine Warren, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she plays Lorraine Warren.
And I
Yes.
love her.
Oh, you'll love Bates Motel then. And then you'll get to like Freddie and you'll be able to watch The Good Doctor.
Yeah,
After that,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
It's a good segue.
I think the story is good from what I gather when Thorsten is watching, but this voice, it drives me crazy, and I think he manipulates his voice. I hope
He does. He does for that character, yes.
He doesn't. That's the voice that he was born with. You're just cruel.
Yeah,
To a poor
I'm very cool.
disabled person. Yeah, but how old is he? I thought he's like beginning of his 20s or mid-20s. He must be a bit older than that.
Yeah. He must be. He's coming up to his 30s, right?
Well, yeah, because he was in that one with Johnny Depp where there was he played the
wonderful.
Yeah, where the guy who J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan. Freddie Highmore, there he is.
There he is, Freddie Highmore. He was born in 1992. He's as old as Jarrah.
Jarrah, he's as old as our daughters. He's 30 next year.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought he was younger.
I mean, he probably was a little younger when he did The Good Doctor, season 1. But
yeah, do you remember Finding Neverland? And he was also Charlie in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. With,
he was
Johnny
Charlie,
Depp.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Charlie.
So
And
we're
Finding
watching
Neverland.
Apple TV. That's what we're watching at the moment because I got a free
3 months
phone from work, and they gave me free Apple. So we got 3 months free, and we're watching everything. Everything.
Yeah, there is some good shows.
There are good shows.
Consume.
I know, yeah, really quickly, like guzzle. Physical, I would say. Oh my gosh, Physical's great.
You two would love that.
Yeah,
Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is a gem. Is such a little gem of a fight.
What is that about?
It's about football.
About football, and we hate football.
And honestly,
it's about an American football coach who gets brought to England to coach a Premier League team because somebody wants them to fail.
Trying to wipe the food from your mouth that you've got on your mouth. I'm trying to wipe it away. Oh, there you go. I've done it.
You know, we're Germans, but just on paper. We don't like beer and we don't like football and a couple of other German things.
We don't like football. We don't drink beer. And but Ted Lasso is a different. It's a gem of a show. It's such a surprise.
Good, yeah.
I have to look him up. Ted.
What is Physical about?
Aerobics, I think.
Aerobics.
Okay.
Again, it's set in the 80s, and it's about a woman who is, mostly she's manipulative and quite horrible, and it's about aerobics. But you hear her inner voice, and it's what Rose Byrne plays the lead character.
Oh, Thorsten,
and
you like the actor. You like the actor.
Who wrote? Oh yeah, Jason Sudeikis.
Oh yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Oh,
I liked him in Horrible Bosses. Have you seen Horrible Bosses?
Yeah.
That
He's
was a great show.
glorious in that. Oh yeah, you'll love Ted Lasso. Now, Physical, she's a scammer and a schemer, and her inner voice is horrific. What it says to her.
Oh, absolutely.
She'll be working out, going, "You fat cow, you're useless, you're ugly." Really quite a dark show.
Pretty much what women say to themselves every morning, I'm sure. But you know, yeah. But yeah, she really, it's quite wonderful because of course she's not fat. She's gorgeous. She's
Yeah.
utterly beautiful. But I have heard so many women say that to me. You know, I wish I was. Yeah, that was Tale of a Pussycat suddenly going across the screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes that
No,
happens.
it's great.
So I love this. This is flash fiction, and then just catch up on what we're watching.
Yeah,
Right
I
now.
think that's very important.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very
And the other,
important. We have
the
no
other one
input
on-
whatsoever.
exactly what to watch. The other one that I think you'd like is For All Mankind.
It is good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's made by Ron Moore, who did the new Battlestar Galactica and Outlander.
Oh, Ilka liked the new Battlestar Galactica.
I did too.
Oh, so did we.
But it's got Joel Kinnaman from Altered States, who is a really wonderful human being to watch, just because of
He's
his acting,
sexy.
of course.
Actually, I think there are photos of him with at least 20 billion photos of him with his top off from Altered Carbon. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw Altered Carbon, because he's naked in Altered Carbon, of course.
Yes. So Joel's in that, but the premise of it is simple. Imagine if the Russians beat the Americans to the moon, and how that would change the whole space race if the Russians got there first. So it's a really clever alternative history story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very, very clever.
I think I watched For All Mankind. I'm not sure, but I think I did.
It's on Apple TV.
I don't have Apple TV.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
love
only on that.
this
There, over here.
person. Yeah, I love him. I really love him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
he's,
imagine
he's
You barely made it through that when he had his shirt off.
well, we're watching this new show going, don't you have to take your clothes off?
Yeah, why isn't he taking his shirt off? Yeah.
There must be some reason to do
You
it.
have to look at the rating. If it's rated PG, he probably keeps his shirt on.
He is beautiful, though. I mean, you see him next to other actors, and we just go, how is it possible? He just looks porcelain-like and just really perfect. It
Yeah,
must be very disconcerting for him, actually. I think.
Played a very cool character in this TV show with the president.
24?
And no, the other, which was cancelled because the main actor abused children.
Kevin Spacey. Oh, was he in House of Cards?
Was he in House of Cards?
House of Cards, yeah. He was in House of Cards and had a really, really great role. I loved it.
Oh, was he that?
Oh, he did too.
Yeah, he was that journalistic character. Yes. And he was also in, what's that one with the girl? He takes his daughter out to the wilderness and teaches her survival.
Have to watch
Hannah.
more.
Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah was good.
Joel's in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the dad. Again, just good to look at. Watch. Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, I liked the look. Coming back to The Good Doctor, I liked the look of Dr. Melendez. I thought he was a really good-looking guy.
I've got to remember which one he is.
Just looking him up now.
And then I looked at pictures of him, and this guy looks completely different in every role he has. He looks really, really high class and serious as a Dr. Melendez, but he can do a Latino gangbanger quite easily.
Yeah, he's lovely. What else have we seen him in? Oh, look, he's got just his singlet on there. Narcos, that's what he was in.
Oh, Narcos was good. I love that.
Yeah, he was in that, of course.
Yeah, he was in Modern Family in a very small role. Don't know if you guys.
Yeah, we haven't watched the last few episodes. We've probably seen half of it. He was also in How to Get Away with Murder, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
And Pretty Little Liars, we didn't really watch.
Yeah, Ilka loved that show.
Yeah, but I did not recognize him.
Yeah, he must have been some cop in that show.
Yeah, he is. He's Detective Marco Fury. But whatever that was. He was also in The Flash.
Daniel, he was in the OC.
Oh, you're kidding. But he would have been a lot younger then.
What is OC?
Orange County. And that was the show we watched because our kids watched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wow, he's been working for a long time. Can't imagine why.
Yeah, he has some quotes, and one of his quotes is he's not taking roles for money anymore. So he must have some money already. He's only taking roles that he enjoys playing, which is great if you get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
he's
put- yeah.
playing really good roles. I like the roles. They are edgy and interesting, not mainstream. And
Yep.
I like that he goes in with his full body and mind.
You just want a full body on the screen, right?
Full body, yeah. Mm.
I don't complain.
And mind, yeah. I like how the mind comes after the body bit, but yeah, full body
Yeah.
and mind.
Mine.
Yeah.
It's an afterthought.
It's what you see first. You see the mind later. So
Yeah, and he plays roles like Nick Fury, cop,
Yeah.
maybe even detective.
Oh, Ilka, there's a little video going around of The Rock in a car, and he's just driving in his neighborhood. And you know how they have those open top buses doing the tourist trap? And he's driving along, he goes, oh, this will be fun. So he pulls up next to him going, anyone know where The Rock's house is? You'll enjoy it. You'll like that one. Because they all that. Yeah.
I was
They
so-
carry on screen.
I think he has a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. He's genuinely laughing, and he's been nice to them all. He just goes, I love how he goes, oh, this will be fun. Look at him looking for my house. Yeah.
Yeah, something I watched was the American Horror Story, the season about the camp. I don't know what it's called, but it was about the summer camp. where all-
1984.
Yes, I really love this show. It's an 80s throwback. I'm
Yeah.
a sucker for 80s throwbacks.
Same
And then-
here.
I love the slasher genre, and it's really nice done. And I read some reviews about it, and they said it was predictable, but yeah, it's a
Yeah.
homage to the slasher genre.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too many
that's a
twists
no-brainer.
would have just made this completely uncool. You cannot make a throwback and say, okay, we change everything. That doesn't make any
And
sense.
my man didn't listen to me. I watched it when it came out and I loved it and said, honey, you have to watch it with me. It's really cool. You love it. And he said, Mom.
Yeah, it depends on my
I admit-
headspace. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, I love horror stories, but sometimes I'm not in a good headspace, and then it's not good for me to watch horror stories.
Yeah.
So I have to be in a good mood, and
Mm.
usually
we
around
know
fall, when we get closer to Halloween, I like horror stories more. But sometimes I just cannot do it. But I think 1984 would have been fine. But
there's a good German horror story on Netflix at the moment.
oh, which one is that?
Blood Red Sky.
Ooh.
Oh, that is good.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Did you watch it in German or in English?
In German.
In German?
Oh, okay, cool.
But there's a lot of English in it. You know, the main characters are Deutsch, but they're on an aeroplane, and lots of English, lots of different languages are actually spoken. But yeah,
Yes.
German is but a really clever take on that. Not one of those ones that's really scary, just one that's really eerie. And there's some lovely big bone boys in there, but they don't all last that long. Oh, Dave Bautista's in it.
I wrote it down.
Yeah,
I wrote it
Blood Red Sky.
I
Highly
like it
recommend.
on masking tape. It's
On
very-
the masking tape.
No. It's a roll of
Yeah,
little Aufkleber.
labels.
the
yeah.
labels.
it is from our torture chair, bondage chair. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, we're torturing with labels.
Stick him down.
So this is our leisure room Ilka's sitting in, and you see this one side which is cups and snowflakes and pink, And if we would switch the camera, the other side would have a different decorum, which is what Ilka is always looking at when she's writing her story. So maybe that's why.
Ah, right. It all makes sense.
That's the darkness, right?
Inspiration.
That's good.
Now,
like
you
that.
guys want to go for a second round, or do you want to chat a bit more?
We really ought to, because that's the whole point of this. Well, yes.
I mean, we do not want to disappoint our 0 viewers.
Our fans, they're coming later.
They look later.
It's about 3 o'clock in the morning in Australia, exactly.
Do we have viewers today?
No,
I don't think we have
not
any
at the moment.
But it is 3 o'clock in the morning in Australia, so I forgive all my Australian fans.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay.
Well,
we don't want to disappoint the Australian fans, so I will generate another first line.
Come on.
It was time.
Ooh.
She had fought against it for so long. Oh, can we actually skip this one, because I wrote a story in another flash fiction with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit too close to the last one too.
Why had no one ever mentioned Mum's twin?
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay. Love it.
Can you please? God, thank you.
Just did. Okay. Let me start the timer. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Then here we go. Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Avon calling.
25
No, Mary
minutes.
Kay. Mary Kay.
Oh, Mary Kay calling. Yeah, we've done this one, haven't we?
Oh, is that ding dong Avon calling? Is that a fixed term?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Australia it was the advert.
Because we were watching a show called Glow, and in that show there was an expert for cosmetics, and when she liked something really much, she always said ding dong, and we wondered why is that. Maybe that's because of Avon.
It was the Avon ad. Ding dong, Avon's calling.
Well, that makes sense. Ilka, what is the Mary Kay slogan? Ding dong, Mary Kay is pinking you in.
No, we don't have such a thing. We do have golden rules, though, but I think I can talk about that next time, because last time I talked about my job, and this time we're a bit stretched for time.
Well, we are
stretched for time.
We have 4 minutes to finish 4 stories, so
Our fans, yeah, definitely. All right, really fast now, everyone. A minute each.
Yeah, I didn't quite finish it, but I was enjoying where it was heading.
I definitely didn't finish again. I think I've enjoyed it more. I managed to get another 200 words down. This is my experiment of just following the idea and not worrying about grammar and all that kind of stuff. So
that's
I think it works. I like it, Thorsten.
Very good. Yeah, and you create excellent work. I mean, the output is amazing.
No, thanks. Yeah.
Do you guys want me to start this time?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have, why had no one ever mentioned Mum's twin? Janice looked at the woman who was the spitting image of her mother. She had the same nose, high cheekbones, even the same curly brown hair. Dad had told her that her name was Berta. Janice was mustering the woman who sat 3 rows in front of her. Dad told her that Berta and her mum had not talked to each other for the last 30 years. Mum had been married Dad when she was 20 and been pregnant with Janice 6 months later. That was the last time Mum and Berta had been talking. Her dad had kept in touch with Berta for a while until he lost contact with her on one of her globe-trotting trips. When she arrived today, she set her luggage in the entry hall. It was one of those old leather ones. Every inch of it was plastered with stickers from all over the world. She had seen the pyramids of Egypt, the Penguin, the Taj Mahal, Niagara Falls, and many other names and places Janice did not recognize. Berta was talking to Uncle Joseph, who had a disbelieving look on his face while shaking her hand. While Berta talked to him, she flashed him a smile and tucked her hair behind her ear, so much like Mum that it spread goosebumps on Janice's arms. She whispered to her dad, who sat next to her, "Why did you never tell me that Mum had a twin?" Her father looked sad and said, "It's a long story, honey. Maybe we should talk about it later." "Why did she not ever come to visit or call?" Janice insisted, the curiosity overriding all other emotions. "She and your mum had a falling out shortly before your birth. Your mum refused to talk to her again afterwards. You know, there is no one with a grudge like your mum." Janice remembered her best friend Philip, who made the mistake of asking Mum why she did not dye her hair. Mum's mouth had compressed into a thin line and then formed into a smile that Janice and her dad had come to dread. Her mum had been honey sweet when answering Philip, but Janice was never allowed to invite Philip over afterward. That incident was 50 years ago, but until last week, Philip still had been forbidden to enter the house. Was Berta sad when it happened? Of course. She tried to reconnect with your mum many times, but your mum was stubborn. Then Berta started traveling the world and having one adventure after the other. She is friends with Jane Goodall, and they watched apes together. Janice looked at the woman who was the spitting image of her mum and tried to imagine her mum interacting with apes. She just could not do it. Her mum would not have put up with such nonsense at all. A long line of relatives had formed next to Berta, all shaking her hand with an unbelieving look on their faces. She smiled and politely made short conversation with everyone. Her dad interrupted her observation. "I think it was Berta's way of screwing with your mum. Every time she visited another country, she sent a postcard. Your mum burned most of them, but I got a couple of them out of the mail before she could and still have them at home. Your mom was always so angry when she got a new postcard or a picture of Berta on another beach or yacht. Why was she angry with her sister? Her dad looked uncomfortable for a moment and flicked a speck of dust from the back of his hand. Well, you can see how similar they are looking. It was even worse back then. It was impossible to tell them apart. Janice nodded. Well, the thing is, I was dating Berta first. Dad! Her dad gave her a look that said, well, I might as well tell you the rest now, and continued. Your mom hated that Berta dated me first and decided to do something about it. She set up a date with me disguised as Berta. We had a very good time. Her dad got very red and twirled his black hat in his hands. So good that you were born 9 months later. Your mom had won again. Janice could not believe what she was hearing. But now that we are on your mom's funeral, that does not really matter anymore.
No.
Aw.
Oh,
I love it.
Cute little story.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Maybe he'll get back with her and she'll have a pretend mum.
Maybe.
Yeah, she won't even notice the difference.
I think in character they will. Oh, this is evil.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
she'd prefer a more glamorous mum too. Yeah.
Possibly.
She doesn't
Not
seem
100%
to be a
sure
nice
there.
person.
I wanted to give a big contrast to the one who won but had to stay home and choose family life, and the other one just had one adventure after the other and rubbed it in.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Here's another postcard. I'm in this part of the world.
It
How's
seems
family
like
life?
he had a reason to tease her. At the beginning,
Yeah.
I thought, well, she's sending postcards. That's kind of cheap. But to steal someone's man with a scheme, that is very evil, and she deserved those postcards.
She deserved more than postcards, but yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because that was evil.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's lucky for the girl that her mum's dead, because she wouldn't want to deal with that story now.
No, she has a cool aunt.
Yeah, exactly. She can get to know her.
Yeah.
This is a kind of funny story I'm not used to by you.
It was funny. It was good humor.
Yeah, I didn't feel dark when writing it. Mostly I feel it slipped into a dark place. It didn't. It just I had a lot of beach and sun and world wonders in my head, and I thought, okay, how can I connect all of that?
That's cool.
It was very good.
Because I think all my stories are dark.
Yeah, me too. I think all my stories have a dark aspect. And today I struggle with getting to the point, which is something Thorsten knows all too well, because he tells me all the time, get to the point. And normally I get to the point faster, quicker. And today I have to stop right at the beginning of the story because I build up to it.
Yep.
I feel a bit stray.
You want to tell us your build-up?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Why had no one ever mentioned Mom's twin? So here we are. Christmas, family time. Sorry, I lost the Christmas, family time. Wonderful, peaceful, yay. The conflicts, the squabbles, and the disappointments from a lifetime are supposed to be forgotten, and everyone is supposed to be happy. Yes, that's how Christmas works, of course. And after a few hours being cramped together indoors with too little room for all the egos to fit in, everyone's nerves are ripping blank, and the peace crumbles away. Sarcasm sets in, secrets are blown, and egos are shattered. But this year can't be matched. Ever. This year is special to every benchmark. Let's start and have a look at the setup so far. Uncle Thomas recently has driven his business into the ground and comes extra grouchy and wants everybody to have their share of unhappiness. Aunt Millie has finally divorced Peter and now is living with her 2 children in a tiny apartment working full-time, fighting for alimony. Aunt Alice is, as always, thinks she is the behavior police and tells everyone how they should dress, talk, move, eat, and of course feel. Uncle Andy and Aunt Emma are more or less invisible and try to hide out and be as agreeable as possible. Granny Paulina and Granny Erica and Grandpa Richard are out of this world and switch between super annoying and being super lovely in an eye blink. The kids, Leo, Tim, Anna, Thea, Kevin, Mark, Brian, Tom Jr., Charlotte, are as annoying as kids can be, and then there's me. So here we go. Happy holidays ahead. In the middle of the hustle and bustle for the dinner preparation, the running around and trying out Christmas gifts, the fake being happy and the stressed out conversations, the good advices and suggestions, the tree is knocked over by the dog, who also is responsible for yesterday's huge pee puddle on the living room carpet. Screaming, blaming, yelling, and accusations, bird chasing through the room as Thomas finally grunts out to Grandma. And you have to sit here and point fingers when you very well have you to blame for Bill. Silence. Deadly silence. Scared eyes gaze through the too thick to breathe air, and even the kids for once are frozen in their movement. Perplexed and clueless faces stare into the electricity of emotions, about to explode into everyone's face every second now. The seconds of silence seem to be hours of paralyzation, are broken by the innocent questions, "Who is Bill?"
Mhm.
Grandma seems to be deciding if she should be angry or crying. And that's it. I couldn't come to the point.
No, that's a good setup, though. It's a family setting, and I like that it come out in a drunken it's all your fault about Bill, you bitch.
Yeah. I like the style of the narration. I wasn't sure who the narrator was, and then I thought, well, this is really refreshing. Okay, we're going let's set the scene. But then I suddenly went, oh, I like this character as well. Yeah, that was really beautifully written, Ilka, as well. It just kept building. I was going, okay, yes, you must finish that one too, obviously.
Yeah.
I could see the
But,
room.
Less TV
yes.
watching, more typing.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, that goes for me as well, obviously.
And if Mary Kay goes belly up, you will be an author.
Oh, really?
Ah, yes.
You
Yes.
like that much? Wow.
Yeah, no, it was very
easy.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that could also be the start of a treatment for a movie script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can imagine all those annoying people
Yeah.
in one room, and you know how high the tension is. The air is cuttable. You could use it as building bricks for something.
Tension is the word I was looking for, and I didn't get it. It was not in my brain, so I had to describe it. But tension was the word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor
Well,
has
you
created
described
some.
them well.
The
Yeah, he
doctor has
did.
created some very spooky lighting for himself.
Well, it was in my eye, and then I was trying to move it. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going for that.
If you
Well, I
would
did-
read a good Dracula book now on YouTube, that would be very spooky.
Oh yeah.
Or even 10 years ago in this very camp, the one-armed James and his hook ran amok.
We were
Yeah.
sitting in a car in a country lane when there was a tap.
Tap on the roof.
Yeah. And they heard the radio broadcast, "Do not take hitchhikers tonight."
Splish, splash.
Yes, it's a
Look,
tricky
David,
life.
you'll have to read your scary story. Is it a dark story?
Sort of. Well, obviously, I didn't get as long because I know Thorsten noticed, but I had it turns out that other charger I was using on my new computer doesn't charge anything.
Oh.
So I lost all power, but
Oh.
I came back. So I didn't quite finish, but here we go. It's a bit of, yes, it's fantastical rather than. All my life I'd been told that the truth is the most important thing in a family. It was the only way that a family could avoid the pitfalls and disasters that were so commonplace in the modern world. Mum and Dad have been persistent and consistent in this message for as long as I could remember. It was something as a family we stuck to. We told each other everything, and that honesty had been the glue that strengthened the usual family ties into a bond that underlined how I saw myself and others. We'd always been made to understand that our insistence on truth was not normal, and most people were not so honest with themselves, let alone others. Over time, I'd learnt the hard way the need to be cautious around others in what I said and heard. Although it was difficult at first, I eventually realised my parents had bestowed a superpower upon me. I could smell the bullshit of anyone from a mile away. I soon learned I was able to manipulate those not in touch with themselves. Eventually that became boring, as it was too easy. Nowadays I use my superpower to be circumspect when needed and choose the people I want to be around. Manipulating the ignorant is neither entertaining or clever. Both my parents had instilled a stronger foundation. Both my parents had instilled a much stronger foundation than to waste such a gift, but I'd needed to make my teenage mistakes. I believed that my family were honest enough that there were no secrets. So why had no one mentioned Mum's twin? No one knew that I was aware Mum even had a twin, but now I was aware. I was determined to confront them. I was driving to the house now, ostensibly for the usual weekly meal, a time to catch up, upload and charge up on love and nourishment. This time I doubted I could eat. My stomach was churning and twisting as I tried to understand how they could have kept such a secret from me. I tried to talk to my best friend, but all they could do was try and convince me there must be a good reason for the secret. They could never understand how devastating a lie was in our family. Any lie at all. My first memories are being told off for pretending I hadn't eaten an extra cookie. I was made to stand in a corner till I confessed. This became the norm, a family obsession. I couldn't understand how they could have kept such a secret. Finally, I arrived, rang the bell. My parents answered as if nothing was wrong and tried to hug me in the usual manner. I walked right past them, making it clear something was very wrong. What's wrong? They asked. How could you have lied to me? I said. What are you talking about? They replied with cautious looks and voices. Why didn't you tell me you had a twin? I demanded into my mother's face. The colour drained from my mother's face as the words left me. She staggered and would have fallen, but Dad reached out and steadied her. How did you find out? Asked Dad. What does that matter? Seriously, how did you find out? Now that he'd asked, and I was trying to remember how I knew, the strength of my convictions waned as I realised I wasn't sure and told him so. It's very important you remember how you know about your auntie. Why did you keep it secret? How do you know? I wanted to scream at them, but his questions had thrown me. Dad held my hand. There is an important reason why truth is so important in our world, so we need to know how you know. I wanted to say I'd read it somewhere. I wanted to say I found a clue. I'm not sure, I ventured. I think I dreamt it. Now that I thought about it, I realised I had dreamt it, which meant it probably wasn't true. As if reading my thoughts, Dad said, your mum's twin is real. Is she the one that told you in the dream? The dream rushed back and I said, I needed a few more minutes to finish.
Oh, that's a mean cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Well, in my head, what was happening was that the twin sister had a power which was not good. Was the manipulation she was talking about, and so the truth bombs in the family was to make sure they wanted to make sure that their daughter wasn't like her auntie, because if she is, they'll have to do the same to her as they did to the auntie.
Oh,
What did they do?
We'll
What
have to find out.
do?
We'll have to find out.
that's
We need
dark.
to finish this one. I think we need to make a session
Follow-up
where
session.
we finish all the stories we promised we would finish, because we will die of Neugier.
Yeah, curiosity. Yeah.
Curiosity.
And
Well,
you
let's
know,
make the next one then follow up, where we each of us selects an unfinished story and continues on it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's start with one at least. Yeah.
Yes.
And then maybe do two sprints to try to get this one,
To carry to push through. I like it.
because it helps if we sit together, because we all reserve time for it, and we all seem to say, hey, we want to finish it, but then life happens and we don't have time. So if we do it like this, we will work on it.
Yeah.
Oh, life happens. Do you see this blue spot?
Oh, no.
I thought a lot of you, Daniel, for the past week.
Oh, I can see it now. Yeah.
It's a little bit bumped. I didn't use my bike to create an accident that is really, really, in my case, stupid. So we were on vacation, and I'm always a bit hectic and fast running, and I'm always a little bit squishy. So on vacation, our friend was there too. We were in a hotel, a wellness hotel. We thought after this very, very awful year, we deserved that. And I was gonna meet with my friend in the bar, and I just came out from the hospital, and I still need to eat fluids. And but this vacation, it was very nice. So I had non-alcoholic drinks in the bar, and we just came from, I don't know, where have you been, Torsten?
Bavaria.
No, yeah, I mean, what did we do? So we went to the room, and then we said we would meet Lily in the bar.
Yeah, we went from dinner.
All right. So, and we had a wonderful room. We were upgraded because of my birthday. So we had this entry room, like a suite. And then the following room was our sleeping living room. And I wanted to change for some reason and rushed through the first room into the second room and was stopped by an unseen force, like an alien hand. And this hand pushed me so harsh, really unfriendly and very quick. And I told my feet to go back and hold my weight, but my feet didn't move, just my whole body moved.
Oh,
Feet stood in the place. And I had this crushing pain in my face, like on my front here, and the nose and the lips, everything here on this line. It hurt like hell. And I didn't understand why. And I was trying to get a grip. And then a second later, I lay down on the floor with this crushing pain in my head. And Torsten was talking to me, and I thought I was talking to him like, ow, ow, ow. And, well, important words that came into my mind. Oh! And then I realized it wasn't a hand, it was a glass door that stopped me.
Straight into it.
It was not fun. And I had a concussion and a swelling, my brain swelling. And for a week, I fight with headaches. Today it's better. And I was back to the doctors a few days ago. And, well, everything is all right so far. But I thought a lot about you and what pain you must have had.
When you hit the road, yeah. Glass doors, I'm sure, are very, very painful too, though, LP.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when-
they are invisible. That's the main
Exactly.
thing.
It's
When
the
you left
non-expecting it, really, isn't it? You suddenly
Yeah,
you wake
yeah,
up
yeah.
going, "What happened? Why? What ghost
Exactly.
did that?" Yeah,
I
ghostly
thought
thoughts.
it was an alien hand crushing
Yeah.
into my face and pushing me back. And I thought, why is that alien doing that? How and why? And then I was laying down, I couldn't move, everything hurt. And then I figured, well, everything in my head is hurting. Of course, the bar, we skipped that night. We didn't do the bar, but I felt really, really bad. And I thought, wow.
But when you left the hospital, when you left the hotel, and you give them feedback, I hope you mentioned how clean the windows were.
Yeah, I did that night because the hotel owner came into the room and brought ice. That was very nice.
Good boy. Yeah.
And I asked them if they would be so kind for the next time to apply little stickers onto the
Yeah.
glass door. Because the next day I learned I wasn't the first. It happens on a regular basis. And I thought, well, I could have been spared this experience if they had little stickers on those glass doors. And she said, oh, what a nice idea. We might think about that.
Yeah, that's a personal injury case. I think make them think about it. Give them a call. Ring your lawyers.
Well, especially if they admitted it had happened before.
Exactly. If they've admitted guilt, well, I'm sorry. It's just, that's it. This could be millions.
For free next time. Actually, everything else was great. It was really awesome. I liked it, but this diminished my experience a little bit.
Well, and I think that's what you need compensation for, because honestly, I can't see that it's actually caused you like any gross disfigurement. But your holiday was ruined, and also Torsten's holiday was ruined.
Yeah,
really.
it was.
I mean, look at him. Yeah,
he needs a holiday.
Yeah,
again. Yeah,
but you get 2 stories. I haven't had mine yet.
You're
not allowed.
Yes,
you're not allowed to tell more stories. That's not fair.
You cannot just sneak in a secret story.
A secret story, exactly.
Enough of secret stories.
With that one, I did actually have a moment where I was like, I'm with Torsten here. Get to the point. But you did get. We did get that. So
but you were very polite about it. I usually try to hurry it along, but I didn't want to be rude.
All right, so this one also sadly unfinished. I think it's unfinished. But as we said, this one might be the one that I go with next week or next time we do this. Right. Julie drove her car to the supermarket as she did every Tuesday morning, the route so familiar that she literally could switch herself into automatic mode. If she left her house at 7 a.m. and she never left her house any later than 7:05 a.m., she could zip along the back streets with little or no traffic to delay her and arrive at the supermarket just as it opened at 8. The car park would be relatively empty, apart from the few cars that surely belonged to the folks that worked at the Supermart, the chain of supermarkets that had spread their way from Illinois to Ohio and threatened to eventually conquer every state before long. Julie would always pull into the area of the car park that was closest to the actual entrance of the store. In the 10 years since she had moved to this state from her hometown of Chicago, Julie had never not had to park right outside the entrance of the store. Sometimes she fantasized that the car park was actually her personal one, given to her by the supermarket as some sort of loyalty bonus, or just because she was extra special and extra nice. Julie caught a glimpse of her over-rouged face in the rearview mirror as she reminded herself that she was indeed the nicest person in the state since Doris Day. You betcha tootin' you are, her chubby self would say in those moments, and some days she actually believed that to be true. As she stepped out of the car, she suddenly caught sight of an elderly lady making her way across the empty space that stretched for at least a quarter of a mile before it reached the boundary that separated it from the highway, from which all customers would eventually use to get their shopping done. Something about this old woman's appearance made Julie stop in her tracks and stare dumbly for a few seconds as she fiddled with the keys that she had just used to lock up her automobile. The old woman also stopped, and then she turned and stared directly at Julie. And Julie could not help but gasp as she recognized the woman to be the spitting image of her mother. And yet that was impossible, as she had buried her mother over a decade ago back in a little cemetery just outside of Chicago. Mutti? Julie's voice dribbled away into nothingness, and any further words that she wanted to speak became meaningless little grunts. And then the old woman began to run towards her, and as she did so, she let out the most horrendous howling that caused Julie to take a step backwards. She bumped into the station wagon that she'd only just parked moments beforehand. The collision with the metal bonnet of the car surprised her, and she let the keys that she was jingling fall to the asphalt with a clatter, and a handbag that she'd casually let hang from one shoulder also tumbled to the bitumen, causing the majority of the contents to spill out in a wide circle. Julie just managed to glimpse her mobile phone bounce underneath the car before the woman reached the spot where she was standing, and she was petrified. "Your mother sucks cocks in hell," screamed the woman, her old wizened features twisting into a grotesquerie that resembled a gargoyle. But there was no doubt anymore in Julie's mind. This old lady really was the spitting image of her mother. Did her mother have a twin? Why had no one ever mentioned Mum's twin to her before? The old lady began to cackle wildly as she saw the fear in Julie's eyes. "Come on, little fatty, why don't you give me a big kiss?" And then she leaned in even closer and puckered up her lips towards Julie's, who was unable to break free from the frozen fear that had somehow managed to engulf her completely. Julie couldn't stop herself from puckering up and allowing this woman to kiss her. But just as she was expecting the brittle lips to brush against her, the old lady swept to one side of Julie's face, stuck out her tongue, and with great gusto left a slimy streak of spittle on her cheek. And that's the end.
Ah,
Does that need any further?
Oh, no, go on with that one.
Yeah, I think so, right.
Brittle
Very
liquor.
uncomfortable.
It was.
Yeah, that is the evil version of the twin.
Yeah, exactly right. We're not quite sure. I'm still, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure where that's going to go, but that's where it's gone so far. So
Your mother cooks socks.
Your mother cooks socks in hell. Yeah.
In hell.
I understood something different. She was cooking socks, yeah?
Yeah,
no,
socks,
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have to.
So that's a bit of a joke from the.
Yeah, I thought I heard something different. But
We have to make an age disclaimer in the future.
Exorcist.
I'm feeling a little bit sweary this session. Obviously, I think I used the C word. Now I use 2 C words. I mean, gosh. Yeah.
I like it, and I'm very curious about how it's going on, because I can feel with this woman. She's sitting in the car, totally comfortable. She's the best woman in the world. She's happy with herself, and sometimes you feel like that. You feel like, oh, I'm all right, aren't I? And then something happens that rattles her, and I feel this being rattled. So you transport this feeling super good. And this pucker thing, ooh,
Could say it coming in.
To me. That has literally happened to me. That happened to me when I was a lot younger, and a drunk old lady approached me and she said to give me a kiss, and for some reason I did, and she did that to me. She literally licked the side of my face, and I was so disgusted. It was just
Yeah, that would leave an impression on a young man.
It did. That's why I'm gay.
Good reason.
Well, good thing men never think of something disgusting like that ever.
No. I never licked Daniel's face, but now I know why he doesn't like it.
Yeah, David was sitting there. Challenge accepted, Daniel. Just wait till the stream is over.
Come and give me a kiss.
I think I he waited most times because all the aunts and uncles, they want to kiss you, and I was very evasive as a child, and could manage to escape them. But I know the feeling.
We have we have a family we're friends of in Brighton, and their oldest daughter Maya has refused to be kissed or hugged since she was, I don't know, 6 maybe, including her parents. And I was allowed to give her a hug only on her birthday. That was it. But it had to be from the side. And it started when you asked her. She said, well, I just didn't like it. People would force her. And now she just doesn't like to be touched at all.
Okay. That's all right. It's her body. She can decide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hate that when it's like, you know, go on, kiss your grandma.
Yeah.
No, she smells. Go on.
Yeah, my friend, she has, in the meanwhile, she has 2 children. The baby I was talking about, it's born already. And I'm the godmother of them. And
right.
The bigger girl, she's 3 now. And I visited them in July, right before my operation. And I brought gifts that had piled up for a year. So I brought some gifts, and the mother, my friend, she said, well, give Auntie a kiss. Give her a kiss. Say thank you. And I said, well, if she doesn't want to, don't let her kiss me. I don't want her to be disgusted by me. If she wants to kiss me, fine. If not, let her be. No, she has to say thank you. Yeah, she can say thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's fine.
She doesn't have to kiss me. And she kind of forced her, and I moved a bit back because I don't want that kid to feel obligated to be in touch with me. She will come. She hasn't seen me for a year. She was like 2 when she saw me last time, and she has to warm up, and she needs time to be comfortable with me.
Yeah, and it can cause trauma in kids. I certainly think it did for me as well. Yeah, I remember I had to kiss far too many aunties and uncles, and you know, some of them kiss you weirdly as well, and some of them are wet, and
you have grown and all of that stuff. Well, I think that is a good point to end our show for today.
Yes.
If you guys stay in the channel, we can have a little chat afterwards. But
Yep.
to all our viewers, probably from Australia, have a good day.
No, we have a viewer from America as well.
Ooh,
She's made a comment.
Ooh, she did.
Oh, has she?
How can I see that?
Why? How?
Where Ilka? No, on Daniel's thing where he put up the. It was Donna Hoffman, our friend Donna Hoffman.
Okay.
Yeah, nice what you said.
I cannot see.
She said she'd only. I heard Ilka and David read their unfinished pieces. Very impressive.
Nice.
That's the bit she was listening to live.
You guys are lucky. You got Donna listening to you. I'm a bit jealous now because she missed my bit. But
because Ilka snuck a side story in. Well, with that bombshell, we end for today. See you guys again, hopefully in 2 weeks. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
I come over to you.